Hello everybody, my name is Zomdude and welcome back to Bondi's Barnyard. Now, we already went over this, I believe. Teasers coming sometime, yeah. We already went over these teasers. Minigames, cutscenes. I don't think I've gotten that cutscene. Okay, so, first of all, I want to mention, the last time I played this was October 19th of last year. So it's been a long time since I've played this. Hour select. Night mode, which is like progressive, so it's like all the way in one big run, which I think is cool. 1020. So we already know about these four. No, 5. We already know how these 5 work. These 5 are entirely new. I have no idea how they work. I know nothing about them. So yeah, one thing I do like is with this, and not a lot of FNAF games or fan games do this with the custom nights or hours in this case, is the icon changes the more the more difficulty there is, and that's really cool. I like that. So I guess what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna do night mode, and I have to remember how this works. And I've said this many times before. Barnyard safety violation. I think this game is easy.
Somewhere you're not meant to be. I guess you'll have to settle for the company of me. If the camera sees free soft, say cheese. Don't let them put you on your knees.
I think this game is easy. I don't think, or at least the main game, doesn't really have a lot of difficulty. Now, one thing I do think about this game is that I love the designs. It is stylized in a very nice way. Another thing I like is... What was I gonna say about it? Oh, some people don't know this, but all of the voices are done by the creator. I don't know. That's just a little neat thing. All of the voices in the game are done by the creator, I believe. See, it's hard to commentate over this, like, because there's, for these, like, first few hours, there's nothing. And even then, it's, like, just really not that hard. For me, at least. I think it's kind of easy. I've definitely played harder, but I've also gotten way better at games in general. I've done a lot of things in my career of video game playing since I last played this. Which, mind you, was a while ago. It was not almost a full year now. By the time this video goes up, it'll probably be almost a month off. What I do like is that the oxygen does go down if you have both doors closed, so you can't, and I'm pretty sure if you have both doors closed, the oxygen goes down faster than you recover it, which I do like. I also think that having to, that's the wrong button, that's the wrong thing. I also think that having to, get oxygen is a cool mechanic, and the way that interacts with the camera is cool. Okay, so... Also, this is supposed to be ice cream, not lights. it's an ice cream bar, and I get that, but, like, it really does look like lights. And these fuckers are loud. They step all the time. So, like I said, night mode is which is what I'm doing right now, is all of the hours, all in one go. And I'm not really sure how that's gonna work. If there's, like, the mini games still, or what. But I want to do this because I think there's a star to get with this. I could double check, but I'm not going to. I'm 40, so we're almost done with this. Also, I need to get closer to my desk because, God. Something I think is very interesting about this game, other than, you know, being the animatronic for once, is that it does it in a way where, yeah, you are the animatronic mechanically, but you still, I wouldn't say play as a night guard, but you still kind of fit that role mechanically. Knock knock, who's there? The fucking door. What I mean by that is, well, yeah, you're still playing the role. Well, technically, you're playing the role of a kid who is trapped inside of an animatronic. The way the mechanics work make it to where the gameplay isn't something you'd get from, say, Bonnie Simulator, for example, or the that one FNAF animatronic simulator game that's 3D. It's not like that. This is still mechanically like a 12 to 6 Five Nights experience, which I think is really cool, despite it having a different viewpoint. It's very mechanically and creative. It's very mechanically and design-wise creative. I love it. Instead of having it be the same 12 to 6 thing, which, as much as I like this, I would say Five Nights has become a genre. Yeah, it's mascot horror, but I'd say it's removed from that in the sense that it's kind of its own thing. I like to think that. Okay. So that's how this works.
When the clock strikes 2, one Fred becomes a crew. Just make sure you check the right door. Otherwise you might not be prepared for what's in store.
Like I was saying, Five Nights, the franchise and community, or the fan games, are kind of their own thing. I tend to call them a Five Nights game, because Five Nights is just kind of, you know, indicative to how these games work. And, well, yeah, I like some of the games that do break the formula a bit, like the FNAF simulator, where you can choose your animatronics and shit like that. I do think that this poses an interesting viewpoint from, and keep it generally close to the formula that these games tend to have. That's close to what, close to the formula that started everything, which is a neat thing to do, and that's very hard to play the role of an animatronic and have to survive like this. Is very interesting, and I like it very much. Okay, yeah, you're gone. Okay, camera. And from my understanding, the way it works with the camera is that it's the security guard actually in the building checking. Which, I wouldn't know why he checks this room more. I guess he's just worried about where they are. But, like, where the animatronics are. But I would think more that logically it's because, like, oh, the animatronics are trying to get into this room a bunch. Why not check it more often to see why? Which would make sense, I guess. That's not what I wanted to do. Fuck. Hi, close the door. A cool thing I like about this is the oxygen mechanic, because it is functionally basically a reskin of power, but there's a reason for why it's there, right? It's because the suit is tight, I imagine, or at least I'd imagine that the animatronic is hard to breathe in, right? And that's cool. And I like that there's an explanation for why it's there, other than, oh, the company who owns this place is just cheap. And I like how it's integrated into the UI with this little TV screen. Because other games, if they were to do a similar thing, right, they would just have it as, oh, oxygen in the bottom left of your screen. That's where it is. This actually has a thing where it's like, oh, it's on a TV screen. I like that. Because a lot of FNAF games, they can't really do an integrated UI without it being confusing or hard to keep track of. This does it in a way I like. Because the TV is always there in view, and it's not, like, really obstructing anything. And it makes sense why there's a TV here, right? I like that. I'm still saying this is piss easy. Of course, now that I say that, I'm gonna get my ass handed to me later, but you know. That's kind of what I get for being ignorant, I guess, or confident. That's how this goes. I say it's piss easy, and then I spend like 5 hours trying to beat it. Okay, go away. And I do like how this game looks, because, again, stylistically, it's very different from other FNAF games. Or, Five Nights games, but it's not inherently a bad thing. This game is very stylized. And, you know, something I like about this game is the style, because it is very cartoony. And I like that, honestly. That kind of fits it. If this were to do a lot of the things that the other fan games do, which is try to emulate Scott's original Five Nights style, then I don't think this would work as well. I don't think it would look as good, and I don't think it would be as effective as it is. And I'm about to pass in halfway, so pass over to the halfway point. Which is definitely nice, and I need it. I also take the oxygen draining faster as the kid dying quicker, right? And as morbid as that is to say, that is another good thing about this. Like, the reason the animatronics and shit get quicker and shit, that does feel like there's a legitimate reason half the time.
There might just be another friend whose goal is your end. A door won't put up a proper fight. To fend this guy off, you must use the light.
Okay, and this is where things get sort of interesting, because now I can't just close the doors constantly. And I also have to pay attention to the TV when it flickers like that, but also I was already kind of trying to do that. Okay, cool. And again, I don't think this game is that hard. Hell, I beat Hour 5 pretty easily. But I'm also, there's another thing. I'm also very experienced with these types of games. I'm also, again, I'm also just naturally gifted at video games, I find. So, I know some friend, or at least I know of one friend who isn't, and he said this himself, so it's not really a big deal that if I say it. He said that he's not very good at these kinds of games in general, and he finds a lot of them kind of hard. And while I don't share that sentiment, I could see, say, for FNAF 1's 420 mode, I could see why he says that's hard, right? Because that is inherently very hard for me. I had a hard time with doing that. And actually, when I looked back at the footage of me beating it, I realized that somehow, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that somehow I beat it despite the power going out at 4 a.m., which I don't know how that happened. Maybe it's a glitch, maybe it's something else. I'm not sure. But all I know is I've beaten it, and I never have to do it ever again, unless I revisit it someday. But, you know, I might not revisit it. I do have a lot of Five Nights-ish games that I need to beat, but a lot of them are really, like, something about fan games I find, especially, is that they get so obscenely hard. Some of them get, like, this game is too easy, is my thing with it. Like Mary's, that's a good example. Mary's, and I know I talk about how much I like Mary's a lot, but Mary's, personally, Mary's Arcade, I think that balances its difficulty very well. I think the difficulty of Mary's is very well balanced. Even on the 5th night where all the cameras go out, there's still a indicator of where the animatronics are. Fuck, please, 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 please go away, please go away, please go away. Stop looking at me. Okay, cool. That camera's gonna be annoying, I know it. I can't remember how annoying though. Oh, nope. These animatronics are loud as hell. I don't know how the night guard doesn't just check them instead of me. Because I'm barely making any noise over here. All I'm doing is closing doors a bunch. I mean, yeah, that's suspicious. But, like, they probably gotta open and close doors. Also, they're loud. I don't think the movements I'm doing are very loud. Wrong thing. That was close. I bet you there's going to be more punishment for that in the future, so I'm gonna try and not do that as much. I also think the reveal of the child being inside the animatronic is a very good reveal. Okay, go away. Thank you. Now, we're getting close to the second to last hour here, and we're doing very well. But again, I think, personally, that this game is kind of piss easy. I've said that many times throughout this video. And a lot of people may not agree with me. A lot of people may think that this game is hard. And to that I say, you might think a lot of Five Nights games are hard. And you know what? That's perfectly fine if you do. But personally, I know I'm repeating myself, this game is piss easy for me. See, something like, because if you didn't know, Radiance is remaking Treasure Island 2020, and then they said they're gonna make other stuff because they said that was going to be their last game they ever made. That was FNAF related. Jesus! Okay, maybe I forgot about the sound cue. Here, the camera is the main factor on why I say it's hard, because the guy whoever's working the night shift checks so much that it's just like you're constantly begging for oxygen, almost, I find. And then these two start synchronizing, and that's a big problem, because you lose oxygen. Even when one door is down, you lose oxygen quickly. 6 a.m. GG. I told you this game was piss easy. So my thing is, do I get another star for this? Because if I did all that for nothing, I'm going to lose it. Because I worked very hard to do that.
I wish this could have been avoided, but let's see this from the bright side and
Okay.
take it as a learning experience.
This is a different
What will
ending.
the establishment do to make sure that nothing like this ever happens again?
Well, obviously our previous endeavors to make the premises safer weren't thorough enough, and we can't solely rely on the imperfections of a human night guard. So we'll make sure to crank up the animatronics detection sensitivity to maximum capacity in case there is ever another safety violation.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so I did get a star for night mode. I was going to be very mad. Did I unlock that cutscene? Yes, I did. Okay, so ending, intro, credits. Gotcha. Hour selects. Custom hour. So, what we're going to do is we're going to, and I am actually, before I do anything else, I am going to test. Okay, I'm going to test if moving my mouse does actually kill me. So we're just gonna spam look back and forth, and hopefully that will give me a concrete answer. Oh, 6 a.m. Interesting. So that means that the kid didn't. Oh no. I guarantee you the custom night is probably not canon. Or custom hour, sorry. Okay. Camera. Camera. Security guard. What? How? I don't know what the difficulties were set at 5 a.m., but I feel like the camera checked a lot more frequently than this. Come on. Okay. Okay, this doesn't count. Okay. Interesting. So it's specifically interacting with shit. That is good to know. How do I leave a night? There we go. Good to know. Yeah, Chickling. Okay. So I want to do keep your air above 75 when he plays his jingle. Okay. He raises red flags on the sides. Left click on them. Okay. Approaches both doors. Close the respective one until he leaves. Okay. Close the door opposite to her. Opposite. Left click on him to when he turns on before interacting in his sight line. Okay. What we're going to do, there's a 1020 mode. Guts. Correlate set to 0. Okay. We have Pablo, Tori, Grizzly, Mother, and Geet. Mother of the chick. Yeah, that makes sense. Guts, knock, knock. Okay, these are door-related ones. Who's there? Camera. And interaction-related ones. Birthday. Okay, birthday mode. I imagine there's star for beating all of these. But since this isn't 520, it's basically just a harder version of 5 a.m., what I'm going to do is to 522 first. Just so I can get used to these guys. So, what do we gotta do? Keep air above 75. Red flags. Respective door. Opposite door. Left click. Okay. Let's try this out and see how these fuckers work. Because on paper, it sounds a lot easier than it does in practice. So let's just... Because I do want to see... I want to... Audio cues and shit, right? So... And all that. So I want to have a good idea of what I'm doing before I go into anything like 1020 or any other mode that features these new guys. so far, very, very minimal with what they're doing. I guess 20 isn't 5 a.m. difficulty, but it is still, like, you know, they're relatively active, which is okay. Oh, hi. So that's that door, right? Okay, yeah, that door. Okay, that's relatively simple to remember. Okay. And that is just a time stopper, essentially. So she has a very easy audio cue to know. And that's relatively simple. My thing is, I assume Bondi can't go to the door. Okay, so his door. That's... Okay. So that's Pablo. His jingle's very loud and obnoxious. Like, as in... Also, they get harder as time goes on, that makes sense. As in... Hi. Oh, does this sightline mean whichever way he's facing? Because he can't... Because I imagine he can... Hi. I imagine he can face more than one direction. Right? Yeah, hi. You gone? Yeah. Oh, he does. Okay. Oh, that's the flag. Okay, yeah. So I'm assuming if both flags are risen, he tries to kill me, which would make sense. Okay, so not too hard, nothing too hard to keep track of, just an added layer of difficulty, which is very nice. It is essentially just more things to do. Okay, she's gone. Which is nice, because this already feels like high. And it does feel like with the others, I would have much more of a challenge. Hi, you're gone. Okay, and he's gone too. Okay, nice. And they do synergize well with each other, so I'm wondering how well they would synergize with the others. I do think Pablo's jingle is very loud, and I'm pretty sure that's to possibly make it harder to hear any other sound cues, like, say, the flags, or Bondi, which would make sense. Or maybe it's so they blend in with that jingle. Probably the case, honestly, because that feels like that Bondi and, say, the flags would definitely blend in with that. Which makes sense, honestly. I do feel like having the camera in this, though, would definitely make it hard. Because the camera's already kind of obnoxious. Okay. Okay, gone. But what's interesting about these guys is they don't boost my oxygen. And I'm wondering if the others won't boost my oxygen in custom hour as well. So I won't test that. I might test it on my own time. But it is definitely something to note. I clicked off the game for a second. I feel like Pablo isn't the biggest problem right now, because I don't have the camera active. If I had the camera active, Pablo would be much harder to deal with, I feel like. And definitely having more door people to worry about is also a thing. Close that so it goes a fucking way. Hi. Now, I wonder why these were scrapped from the main game. Is it because that was too much to handle? Okay, so I feel like I'm not gonna do another custom this episode, probably. And honestly, I had a fun little time coming back and getting some stars. Okay, so it is checkmark. Okay. Okay, so it should. Okay, cool. 520. Oh. I'm gonna look this up now, because now I've gotten curious. How many stars are there in Bondi's Barnyard? Okay, so it says on the wiki there is. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm trying to find. Okay, hold on. There is a fan made a virtual reality version of Bondi's, I think. Yeah, this seems to be a fan-made VR edition of Bondi's. I might play that in my own time, honestly. And I want to know, I've tried recording something in VR, but it just wouldn't work, and it couldn't. I'm sorry, I just couldn't. I might try going back to that. Okay. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I can't seem to find how many stars there are exactly. I could just ask Poodles, come to think of it. I'll come back to next episode of this with a definitive answer of how many stars there are. Wait. What happened? Can I skip this?
Could have been avoided, but let's see this from the bright side.
Can I skip this? Because I don't want to have to see this again.
To make sure that nothing like this ever happens.
Okay, I guess I'm.
Well,
Yeah.
Obviously, our
Actually.
previous endeavors.
Okay, I'm just gonna mute this while this plays. So, yeah, probably next episode of this, I will come to you with a definitive answer of how many stars there are in this game and what I get them for. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end this episode of Bondi's Barnyard here. So yeah, I'll see you guys in whatever project I end up making next, but until then, see ya.